Indonesian AirAsia Flight QZ8501, an Airbus A320 airliner carrying 162 people, disappeared from radar screens early Sunday, about 40 minutes after leaving the Indonesian city of Surabaya en route to Singapore. A full day of searching the relatively shallow waters off the coast of Borneo has so far yielded no sign of the aircraft, raising a familiar mix of uncertainty and grief just 9 months after Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 disappeared shortly after takeoff from Kuala Lumpur. Though Flight 8501 disappeared in a similar part of the world, it involves a different airline and a different type of aircraft. Here are some basic details about what is known all about the two disappearances. Unlike Malaysia Airlines, a financially struggling, state-controlled carrier, AirAsia, with headquarters near Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, is a rapidly growing, low-cost airline with several affiliates, including Indonesian AirAsia, operating across Southeast Asia. Its fleet of 80 planes is relatively young, with an average age of less than 5 years. The aircraft that disappeared Sunday was a single-aisle Airbus A320-200 that was built in 2008. AirAsia is one of the world's largest operators of Airbus A320 series jets. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 was a Boeing 777-200, a wide-body jet that was built in 2002. Until Sunday, AirAsia had an unblemished safety record. Tony Fernandes, the current chief executive and a billionaire, bought AirAsia in 2001 from bbcpersian, a government-linked conglomerate. It was a small, heavily indebted airline then, which was originally established in 1994. In the case of Flight 370, the skies were clear and there were no unusual weather conditions or turbulence reported. In the AirAsia case, cumulonimbus cloud formations were reported in the area, and weather agencies reported a number of lightning strikes along the flight's planned route. In both cases, there was no emergency distress call issued by the crew. But in the case of Flight 8501, the pilots did inform air traffic controllers in Jakarta, Indonesia, that they were planning to increase their altitude to 38,000 feet from 32,000 feet to avoid what may have been a thunderstorm. This is why many experts have focused on weather conditions as a possible contributing factor in the disappearance of the AirAsia flight. In the case of Flight 370, the last communication from the flight with the ground was a "good night" message to Malaysian air traffic controllers just before the plane was supposed to cross into Vietnamese airspace. Instead, Flight 370 veered sharply off its intended course to Beijing, for reasons that remain unexplained.